All right, here we go. Another week of real estate on Florida's Emerald Coast. And let me just tell you guys and gals, I love doing these videos. I love talking about real estate, right? I'm an investor. I own properties here, right? We help people buy and sell hundreds of these things every year, right? I love it. I love talking real estate. And I hope you all enjoy getting these posts as much as, or these videos, I guess, as much as I like putting them out, because it's awesome. I like it. All right, so let's talk about what's going on in the real estate world here on Florida's Emerald Coast. Here's the thing that we've been bumping into, and if you haven't hit it yet, you're going to. All right, it has a financial impact, a significant to you if you're an owner of a condo, especially in one of these big buildings here. And it's the Florida Milestone Inspection situation. All right. Again, if you haven't bumped into this yet, you're going to. Yeah. And if you have, you probably felt it. I know some of these buildings are getting hit hard. Right? $100,000 per unit in some cases, less than others. All right. The Florida Milestone Inspection. Okay. Let's talk about it. What is it? What's the deal? What's going on with this milestone inspection thing, and why do I care? Why? Here's why, okay? Following the tragic collapse of the condo in Surfside, just north of Miami there, remember that? 2021, that condo fell. I think some 94 people, 90 something like that, people died in this thing. And because of that, DeSantis passed a bill. It's good, right? It's good. You got to do it. It addresses deferred maintenance on these condos, because that condo collapse killed all those people, and it was preventable if they would have done the maintenance on it. From what I understand, the way it worked is they did the inspection on the property. They understood there was some issues with it, and the HOA was getting ready to do something or preparing to get ready to do something, and they just didn't have time to get it done because COVID hit. Right? COVID was in play, and they couldn't get workers out there and all that. That's my understanding. Whether it's accurate or not, I don't know. But what we do know is a condo collapsed, 90-some people died, and now we have this milestone inspection that has to occur in these buildings, okay? And it generally has led to some significant things. Now, it's good. It's good because typically what happens is there's been deferred maintenance on these buildings from a structural standpoint, not just cosmetic, but structurally. They don't want any more of these condos falling down, and neither do you, especially if you're in them or your family and guests. Nobody, right? We just don't want that to happen. So let's talk about this milestone thing. What is it? What does it mean? Let's answer some questions. I'm just going to read to you what it is. I'm not an attorney. I don't even pretend to be one, nothing like that. I'm a guy who owns real estate and trying to make more money as an owner of real estate and helping people buy and sell it. I'm not going to be an attorney. So I'm just go ahead and read this. All right. So it says, at its core, a milestone inspection is a type of structural safety building inspection. Okay. It's important to note that it is not intended to bring buildings up to current building codes or address fire safety concerns. It's not that. Rather, its primary focus is on structural integrity of the building members, assessing whether they are safe for continued use. Again, they don't want these buildings falling down. Okay. That's what it is. So this inspection is divided into two phases. Let's talk about phase one. Phase one is the visual inspection. In the first phase, a qualitative visual inspection is conducted. Okay? The licensed professional examines the building for any signs of substantial deterioration. If no such issues are found, the building passes this phase and proceeds to the next milestone. No big deal. Okay? However, if substantial deterioration is suspected, the process may move to phase two. Okay, and phase two is a detailed inspection. Phase two is initiated when phase one reveals potential substantial deterioration or deficiency. Okay, this stage involves a comprehensive examination to determine the extent of the issue and specify necessary repairs. Okay, those are your two phases. What are they looking for? What are they looking for? Well, they're basically looking for these things. Foundation. They want to ensure the stability of the building's base. Good thing. Good thing, right? Load-bearing walls. Assessing the integrity of the walls responsible for supporting the structure's weight. I'm for that. Okay? Shear walls. Evaluating walls designed to withstand lateral forces crucial for stability. I don't know what that means, but it sounds like it's important. Okay? The roof deck. Ensuring the safety and integrity of the roof structure. Yeah, I don't want any problems there either. That sounds expensive. Balconies. Examining balconies for structural soundness. Okay, so yeah, you hear about these things usually on smaller buildings. I lived in Chicago for a long time, and you'd hear about these balcony collapses. People have these parties on these balconies on the third floor. You get a million people on the balcony, and the whole thing crashes. People get hurt, and some die. Yeah, same thing here, just more, right, in these big buildings. So importantly, milestone inspections focus on structural integrity and safety, avoiding cosmetic issues like cracked stucco and painting, stuff like that. That doesn't matter. They're looking for the structural stuff, okay? This is important to say. I'm just reading this. This is Buildings Mavens. They've done a great job. Buildingmavens.com if you want to read their stuff. They've done a terrific job. I'm just reading it. They're saying it's important to note that certain Florida jurisdictions, Miami, Broward County, Highland Beach, City of Boca Raton, they have their own safety programs that required a 40-year mark, apparently, and then 10 years after that. With this new milestone legislation, most of these programs shifted to the initial inspection requirements to 30 years. All right. This means buildings in that area will now need to undergo building safety inspections sooner than expected. Again, probably a good thing. Now, we're in the Florida Emerald Coast, which is a little bit different than what's there. So we're in that 30-year window already anyway. This is big stuff, people. Big stuff. Impact on condo associations. Well, they're saying they're not clear on how many buildings are going to be required to move to phase 2, which is really the expensive part, right? That's the repair. It may be a few, they're saying, it may be a lot. It's crucial for associations to understand the true age and conditions of their buildings and act accordingly to meet the new legislative requirements. Yeah, it's crucial. I'd agree. Let's talk about the timelines, deadlines for milestone inspections. Okay, it's important. Anytime there's time attached to things, it gets important. All right, the strict deadlines for condo associations to complete phase 1, just the visual look over of the buildings, okay? Associations have 180 days to initiate phase 1 after receiving notice from local building officials, okay? This timeline becomes especially critical for buildings reaching the 30-year mark, okay? There's a few of those around here for sure, as they can expect a notice at any time, okay? The December 31st, 2024 deadline looms large for many associations. It's essential to be proactive in understanding the timeline, ensuring compliance, as the consequences of failing to meet these deadlines can be severe. Don't mess around, okay? Additional milestone inspection deadline stuff, okay? What else? All right? Certificate of occupancy date clarification. If this date of issuance of certificate of occupancy is unavailable, the date of occupancy recorded by the local building official will serve as certificate of occupancy issuance date. Okay, this is for HOAs, but you should know it as an owner. Proximity to saltwater, well, that's most of us, right? This bill removes the previous provisions for buildings within 3 miles of the coastline, replaces them with the new criteria. Okay. Now require milestone inspections as follows. The first inspection must occur December 31st of the year the building reaches 25 years of age, not 30. Subsequent inspections should take place every 10 years, okay? Depending on how close you are to the salt water. Deadline on these. Building owners facing challenges in completing milestone inspections on time may request an extension, okay? Because this is going to be expensive for a lot of these places. From a local enforcement agency. The extension can be granted when an architect or engineer is under contract to perform the inspection. Completion is before that deadline is not feasible, okay? Again, this is just information. Talk to your HOAs. Make sure you're on top of this because it gets to be a thing. They talk about condo tells. That's a thing around here. A lot of our condos or condo hotels have been identified as that. Here's what they say. The responsibility for arranging milestone inspection reports falls on the condominium association and any owner of building portions not subject to the condo or cooperative ownership, right? If you have some, I don't know, retail space or something like that operating within the condo, maybe they're not part of it. Compliance with inspection requirements is the shared duty of these entities. I guess they're all, okay? I take that back. This is why I'm not an attorney. Don't count this as legal advice, okay? Cost. Condominium associations bear the costs associated with the milestone inspections for the building portions they are responsible for maintaining under the governing documents. All right, makes sense. Exemptions. It's important to note, it says, that these new requirements do not apply to single-family homes. There's a break for y'all. 2-family or 3-family dwellings, or with 3 or fewer habitable stories above ground. These properties remain exempt from the milestone obligations imposed by the bill. So the smaller structures, you don't have to worry about that. Okay? Cool. Apparently, this legislation is evolving in nature. Here's what he goes on to say. The legislation surrounding milestone inspections is not set in stone and continues to evolve. There are discussions around what they're calling glitch bills that aim to refine and clarify requirements. Okay, these bills address other issues such as definition of coast and other intricacies that have sparked questions and concerns in the industry. All right. As these glitch bills progress, it is essential for building owners, associations, and property managers to stay informed of the changing landscape. Yeah, how about that, right? For sure. Okay, they go on to say this: for those seeking clarity on jurisdiction/specific requirements, it's advisable to consult the respective county or municipality's official websites. All right, I'll put them in the notes for this. These sources typically provide detailed information about building safety program inspection mandates. Okay? There you go. There's the basics of the milestone inspection stuff. Again, this is a significant thing for anyone who owns in a condo of any significant size. There is the potential for significant special assessment costs, all right? So make sure you're paying attention to this, that you're aware of this, because it'll impact the bottom line of your investment. It'll impact your ability to sell. It'll impact your desire to buy. It's got a big impact, right? It does, you know? It just is part of all things, because it is, right? If you want to talk to, I got this off the internet, a guy named Scott Harvey Lewis. He's the owner and president of Building Mavens, buildingmavens.com. You can reach out to him. He's in South Florida. He can answer questions, but I would go to your HOA board, talk to them about what's going on. And again, a lot of buildings have already addressed this. Some are going to address this. And it might be a big thing for some, and it probably won't be a big thing for others, but you need to know. All right. So there you are. That's what we're talking about this week because it's such a big issue. Next week, we'll be back into stats and what's going on with all kinds of stuff, mortgage rates. Oh, here's something cool. We're going to have a insurance guy coming in to talk with us about what's going on with insurance and why it's so high and what we can expect here in 2024. So you're going to want to tune into that. That's going to be really good. I'm looking forward to that. All right, there you are. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next week.